All right.
Yo.
What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Yay, we're in my backyard.
We're in your backyard.
And the sun's out.
We're behind the bar.
Yep. This is my grandparents' bar.
The big drinkers, you and I, huh?
Right? Woo! I mean, you can put some apothecary in a wine glass.
Yeah. It's pretty much the only thing I do these days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, I wanted to just talk to you about your apothecary drinking and your story. As you are the person who got me to get on this superfoods program, which I'm incredibly grateful for because it has changed my life. But I wanted to hear your story in depth because I've heard bits and pieces of it. But so what turned you on to these superfoods and how's your...
It's kind of a long journey.
Yeah.
It started probably 6 years ago.
Okay.
I think that's right at this point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
My mother had passed away. And before she passed away, I had cared for her for 4.5 years. And when I mean cared for her, she lived with me, I was feeding her, I was taking her to doctors, it was very intense. And so not only was I suffering from a hugely traumatic just loss, which has massive ramifications on your health.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I also was super depleted from 4.5 years of taking care of 2 very young kids and a very sick mom. So I was a mess. Couldn't sleep at night. My hair was falling out like in clumps. My period pretty much stopped. I gained a ton of weight. I had anxiety. I had, what else? I had weird things on my skin. It was kind of a long time ago. I just know it was a mess. I was kind of a walking zombie. Getting up in the morning was hard. I was always foggy. I couldn't remember. Oh, I remember. I couldn't remember anything. My dad would call me and be like, "Hey, so I'm at lunch. Where are you?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean, where am I?" He's like, "We said 12:30," and I literally had no recollection. It wasn't like,
Whoa.
"Oh, shoot, I forgot." I had no recollection.
Whoa.
So I was in that state of depletion, and I ran into my friend Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into her at Whole Foods, and I looked at her, and she was just glowing and vibrant and full of life. And I looked at her and I said, "Whatever you're doing, I want it. Sign me up." And she went, "Okay." And she did. And I did my first, it was 10 days at that point. I did my first 10-day cleanse. And similar to what happened with you on your transformation, it was life-altering.
Mm-hmm.
It also wasn't a 10-day fix.
Right.
From that 10 days, I stayed religiously on the product for 8 months because I was in such a state of depletion. Mm-hmm. They say 90 days. I stayed 8 months. Mm-hmm. I was very much needing it. What happened? I slept through the night. My hair grew back and stopped falling out. My period came back, like a teenager came back. I lost weight. I could wake up in the morning. I could be human with my kids. I think I'll never forget the day that I think I'd missed taking the aminos, and I was getting a little cranky. Mm-hmm. And Zohar looked at me and said, "Mom, did you take your aminos?" I was like, oh, damn. It was that noticeable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was noticeable in my house. And so, that I just kind of kept it in my repertoire for years. But then just recently when the pandemic hit and I lost my entire wedding season and my whole income and connection to the world and just basically everything, I kind of again went into this depression, started just eating everything, gained a ton of weight, and started feeling pretty miserable and just unhappy again, and went back to something that I trust and brought it back into my life ferociously. My daughter's on the aminos religiously. We do superfoods at the house. The baby's been drinking it. That's a whole nother story. and I've been doing it regularly, and it's again transforming, life-changing on so many levels. I don't even, and I learn about it all the time, like what it does to my body. Just,
Right.
But
well, and so you said, you did it for a long time, and then it sounds like maybe you sort of stopped, and then when the pandemic hit, you said, I went back to something I know and trust. I'm curious, like, why do you trust this company? And like, I guess what makes this different than just any old green drink, or, you know what I mean?
Okay, there's several reasons. One, as I'm becoming more involved in the company, the integrity of the actual company is so high. The mission of the owners, the mission of the company as a whole, is really to like save the world through raw foods and superfoods and healthy products. It really is. We are plastic free, which is a massive thing. My home is completely plastic free and has been for a long time. And a company doing that, which I'm sure, I don't even know the like financial, like, and all the like things they had to go through, the hoops they had to go through to actually get to that point. It's huge. That says there's a commitment to integrity, to ethics that I can align with. The shake, why is it different? It's raw. It's raw, and it's more than organic. We know where the farms are. We know who is farming it. We know the surrounding area. There's organic shake at Costco, and I know actually there's studies that's been done on it. I can't name the brand because that's not cool, but there's glyphosate in that. It's not tested. It's not checked. Purium is tested constantly. I know when I give it to my kids, when I give it to myself, when I give it to my friends, that I'm standing behind something with massive amount of integrity. That's huge.
No, it is.
What can you say in this world that we live in today that isn't about the dollar, that isn't about the money, that's, there's not a lot of companies that you can actually say have that high of integrity.
Yeah, absolutely. And having been in the supplement world myself, like same thing. And you see things that have like fillers and have, stuff that cut corners a little bit, even if it's still like okay product. And these guys don't do that at all.
And that brings us to another thing, which is a question people often ask, like, why can't I just go into the store and buy it? Right? And the owners decided that instead of cutting corners on the ingredients, which is what most health food products do, so that they can pay the exorbitant fees for distribution, and they decided to keep their product pure, to keep integrity of their product, and to make it like a sharing economy in a time when Target, Costco, Walmart, all of these massive corporations, Amazon are getting so wealthy. People, if they even have an issue with the whole affiliate marketing, I don't understand it. Like, why wouldn't I want you to benefit from me buying something? I want you to benefit way more than I want Amazon to benefit.
And also just the significance of word of mouth marketing. Like, if you discover something that you love, you're gonna tell your friends anyway. You're gonna tell your family. Like, my whole family is on this now. A lot of my friends are on this now. You know what I mean? And like that, and that's just a basic business model, and so that part.
And people do it pretty naturally. Like, if someone loves a hairdresser, if someone loves a shoe, you're always like, oh my God, this is where I got it. But with Purium, they actually pay you for that. Which again speaks to the high integrity of the company. Another thing I love about the company, the owner, he gets on Facebook and answers questions from anyone and everyone weekly. What company do you know that he does that? He's the owner. He's like running this massive company. He created a lot of these products, and yet he's there to answer any questions. He doesn't care if they've been asked 1,000 times, or he truly cares. That's pretty awesome.
No, and he's so accessible, like anyone. You're saying, you can jump on this Facebook thing. Like, I know you could just reach out to him, and he'll answer anything, and he's always willing to share. And that's been really cool to learn.
Super cool.
And see modeled in leadership in an organization for sure. Yep. So you've been doing the business then, and as someone, because I know you're an entrepreneur, so like you have had your own business before. Like, how does it compare to, say, being like a traditional entrepreneur where you're like, because you had photography, right?
Yeah.
Like, how does it compare to your photography business?
Well, I mean, the biggest way that it compares is that there's massive support and massive training.
Mm-hmm.
You could be on a Zoom call 3 times a day sometimes if you
Right.
want the training.
Right. Yep.
And they do social media training, they do sales training, they do product training. I mean, literally. So the training is there. The infrastructure is there. I mean, there's links, there's videos, there's studies, there's a whole back office that you're handed. You're handed basically, you know, most people who start their own business, there's massive amounts of like expenditure and learning curve, which, you know, everything has a learning curve. But this is all just like here for the price of your products, for the price of your use, for the price of your health, we'll hand you a business.
Yeah. Right.
Again, the integrity of the company.
Yeah.
You know, they could charge, and they, before the pandemic, they did. But when the pandemic hit and so many people lost their jobs, lost their livelihood, and needed health, they made that free.
That's so amazing.
It's free for the price of your own product.
Right. Right. If you're going to get it anyway,
Yeah.
you have this option to create a business around it as well. And I mean, the affiliate marketing thing is just it's so simple, and I mean, so many people are doing it online.
Everybody.
I mean, everybody.
Everybody.
It's so straightforward and easy. And I love too that like it allows, because I can offer a discount, right?
Yeah.
You know, it gives a discount on the product too. And you know, because like these are good quality, and if you're gonna get a good supply of it and really like dive in, you know, it takes a little reframing of kind of looking at how you purchase your food.
Yeah. So I want to speak on that though too.
Yeah.
So people always say, "Oh, it's expensive." So I'm a mom of 3 kids. When I go to Trader Joe's, I spend $200. When I go to Whole Foods, I'd probably spend $200-$300. When I go to Costco, it's $300-$400.
Right.
So I'm just like, you know, community market. I mean, anything you buy is like so much money. What I'm saying is, when people say that the product for a month, 60 meals, is like $320.
Right.
I don't know where you can buy organic, raw, pre-prepared food anywhere for that cheap.
It's going to hit your base macro and micronutrients for the daily requirements. Like, you're literally getting all the nutrients that you need in a meal.
So, and the way you have to look at it is you're changing your mindset. You're buying it all a month in advance.
Right.
So when you actually break it down, it becomes way more affordable.
Oh, yeah.
When I go out to eat at the Barlow and feed my children, I don't walk away without at least $20 per person.
Sure.
With Purium, you're spending $5.50 per meal per person.
Right.
So, you know, it's a massive difference.
It's huge. No, and we've been using it, you know, myself and my husband, and we've got stuff for my daughter too, and it has cut our grocery bill in half, actually.
Have you given it to your cat yet?
No.
Me neither.
I know they make dog products, but I haven't given it to the cat yet.
Can't we give it to the cat?
Oh, sure. I'm sure. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Cat, you know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that because my cat has this weird skin thing. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe I can feed her.
It's totally, I mean, I don't see why not. It's real whole food. So, like, it's not like it's some different, you know, chemical thing or even isolated nutrients, you know, it's whole food. So
yeah. Sorry, that's my daughter trying to get a hold of me, so I probably need to exit.
Well, cool, let me do a little,
okay, sorry,
and I'll edit it, and then that's fine. Cool. So thank you so much for sharing not only your health journey, which was powerful and amazing, but also that, you know, you found this option for you know, for sustaining you financially as well. And I think that's, you know, it's such a great package deal to have both of those things be an option.
I'll tell you about the financial piece. It's not what drives me in Purium, even though Purium has an amazing compensation plan. It really, there's bonuses and there's so many like perks to doing the business.
Yeah.
The money is not what made me want to do this business.
Sure.
What really made me want to do this business is because I want people to be healthy.
Yeah.
When people are healthy and their body is nourished, they're kinder.
Mm-hmm.
They're nicer.
Right.
I know this from personal experience. When I'm depleted, it's, it's not fun to be around me.
Sure.
And if the planet that we live in right now is super sick and super depleted, there's a lot of crazy shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so truly my mission is to try and get this to people so that we're all just kinder and more loving to each other,
Right.
to our own bodies, to our children.
Yep.
Some of us as parents are so stressed out, we can barely just tap in with our kids.
It's true. I mean, that was my story, mine was my migraines and then the fatigue around that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, it has been life-changing for me. So thank you so much. Those of you watching, if you have not heard my story, I've been sharing a lot actually over on Instagram. So pop on over there if you would like more information. And if you are interested, you could obviously, Google the company or whatever. But what I was saying before is like, I got a code for you if you're interested that will actually save you some money.
Hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds of dollars.
She's being very humble. Literally, it'll save you $100.
And also, like, I've got a background in nutrition and I used to sell supplements, and I would love to be a coach for you and a guide through this process if it's something that you are thinking about doing. So
that's massive, because she's an awesome everything. She's so on it and together, and if you have Jess on your team, you're doing really good. That's just
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for sharing, and
You're welcome.
yeah.
Bye.